holy cats, look at this, will you? I'm going to put this guy on here for a minute, Jimmy. We'll turn it the other way, Jim. There you go. One of the best defensemen to ever latch him up here in the I.H.L, Jimmy Bannatyne. He played over in Muskegon. Played, I think, in Indianapolis. You played here. Or was it Dayton? You played in Dayton, right, Jimmy?
I played in a lot of teams.
Yes, you did. You're looking good, guy. What's cooking?
Sorry, Bobby. Just working and coming to the odd game. And
you ever skate anymore?
No, try not to. And, you know, in my career, I never saw a corner, and I don't skate anymore. So. Well,
I'll tell you, you kept a lot of things clean down there, Jimmy. You're one of the most accomplished defensemen I think the league ever had. You were a gentleman. You were a hard player. And you had to have a good plus-minus because you were always in the right spot at the right time.
Well, thank you, Bob. And it's always a pleasure talking to you. And you're still in the business, and which is great.
Right.
You know,
just so I can go back and visit guys like you.
Yes, yes. Now, what about my friend Robbie Irons?
Robbie is just steady as can be. You know, a little gray hair, but other than that, he's still sitting on a bag of money. But he's worked with me for a number of years, and the best color guy I'm sure that I ever had. Were you down as part of the ceremony for Morris?
Yes, that was great. You know, and Morris well deserved, and he's kept hockey in Port Huron around till we're at this position where.
Well, you know, he's been a pioneer in hockey at all levels for many, many years. I think he came originally out of North Bay.
Right.
And he came here and kept it alive. And there's some pretty fine hockey players passed through here on their way to other areas, including yourself.
Right, and just like all the old I.H.L teams, there are a lot of good hockey players.
Indeed, you know, we talk about it. Had it not been for a 16 National League, if it was like it was today, there would have been a lot of guys out of this league went to the National League.
Oh, that's for sure, Bobby.
But that was then, this is now, but I don't think they had any more fun than you guys did.
And we didn't get paid a whole lot, and I always questioned our heart today because we played with heart and little money.
Because that's your dad. Heart and no money.
That's right.
And a cold beer at the end of the game, eh, Jimmy?
At least a couple.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm so happy that you stopped up. I know you've been around. It's just a pleasure to have you back.
Bobby, it's always good seeing you, and keep up the good work.
You take care, and may I be the first to say Merry Christmas.
Same to you.
Jimmy Bannatyne, one of the all-time greats in the I.H.L and the former Port Huron flag. The Detroit alumni came into town tonight, and one of the more famous names, one that's quite familiar in Fort Wayne, Dennis Hextall, his brother Rick played here a long time ago. And how long have you been at this gig, Denny, on the alumni group?
I joined the alumni in the 1980-81 season, right after I got out of the league, and I've been with it ever since.
You guys have a lot of fun, eh?
We do. We've got about 15 to 18 guys we draw from. We got about a half a dozen former Detroit Red Wings. We got a lot of guys that played in NHL that live in the Detroit area, and we fill up. And I'd say we play 25 games a year, all for charity, and we'll try and make it fun.
I know I saw Probert when you fellas were playing up in Port Huron, and Probert said he wasn't going to be able to get down here, and he certainly would have had a follow.
Yeah, I'm sure he would have following up here too. No, Tommy Williams sitting right beside me here. He said he wasn't going to bring him across the border anymore. So I'm not sure what's going on here. I'll leave that alone.
Yeah, we'll go from someplace else. The rest of the Hextalls, there's nobody that's active anymore, huh?
Well, my nephew Ronald, who is the goaltender in Philadelphia, he's the assistant GM out of L.A., and his son is playing at the University of North Dakota and was drafted by the Phoenix Coyotes last year in, I think, the 6th round.
So you got some Hextalls next generation coming back.
Potentially, if he made it, we'll be the only family with 4 generations.
Fantastic, unbelievable. You guys, you carved your mark as Hextalls in the National Hockey League. You put it there with skill and toughness.
Well, my father was the first one, and he was obviously one of the better players in the league in his day. And then Brian and I played, and then Brian's son, the goaltender, was one of the better ones for a few years.
Yeah.
And now we'll see what his son does. His son sort of got the same temperament. He's not as big or anything, but hopefully he's going to make it.
Is that a significant sort of an inherited trait, the temperament of the Hextalls?
Somewhat, yeah. I had, when I was young, I had the flaming red hair and the temper to go with it, and I guess I just sort of kept it and mellowed as I got older.
Well, there were rumors out that the Hextalls once in a while get together, the family get together, and it wasn't all happy.
Well, might not have been all happy, but we always got along. Yeah. I'm about as mild as Joey Coaster now, so I mean, I'm very. It's like take a few sedatives before the game, and I'm like Joey, so I'm okay now.
Well, I get a kick out of the names, and of course, I've been a Red Wing fan from low many years back. Like I'm 83, and Old Olympia had great memories for me many years ago. And when I saw Hextall out there, I knew I had to talk to you before this was over.
Yeah, well, family, I guess there's been somebody in the league like Dad from 36 to 48, and my older brother, I think he turned pro around 60, and I turned pro in about 66, I think, is when I first went to camp.
Do you have special charities, or is one regular charity your donor?
We give to several charities. We don't give an awful lot to any one charity, but we generally throw about $5,000 to 5 or 6 charities every year, and we go from there.
Not too bad at all. Where are you living?
I live in Brighton, Michigan.
So you turned out to be a Wolverine after all.
Well, I'm sort of right in between the Wolverines and the Spartans, so I got to be careful what I do. And we got both on the team, you know.
Oh, geez, you really got to watch out there. Big things can happen. Any more games coming up for you?
We got, I think we're in Muskegon next Friday, Kalamazoo on Saturday, and then after that, I think we got a couple local games, and that's about it.
Well, I better let you get organized. They got some grub and stuff for you down at the other end. People are kind of waiting to see all you guys. Thanks for coming, and thanks for taking time with me.
Oh, we had a great time, and we just appreciate the fans and everything they do, and it's great that we're in a position to give something back to the game and the fans.
It really is. I imagine you guys aren't staying for the big game. You're heading home, eh?
I'm not sure. We're coming by bus. That's where the guys are relaxing right here, and I'm sure we're going to likely pick up the first period or so before we take off.
It's a sellout here, 10,600.
Well, hopefully get some standing room somewhere.
They'll make room for you, Dennis. Thanks, and thanks to the Red Wing alumni. We appreciate you coming down to Fans Load.
Well, we really enjoy it.
Okay, that's my story with Dennis Hextall. Be back in just a moment. I'm Bob Chase, and on WOWO, it's Comet Hockey.